Hello, everybody. Happy Friday from your friends at Prime Sports World. Hope you guys have all had a fantastic week. This weather here in Chicago is getting a little bit nicer. It's 50 degrees and sunny where I am in south suburbs of Chicago. TJ in the, I guess, northwest suburbs of Chicago, technically, whatever that's technically considered. How you doing, man?
All right.
Yeah, glad to hear it. If you're looking for consistent content on Facebook, YouTube, or on the Twitter at PSW_David, Prime Sports World's a pretty good place to be. Go live 6 or 7 times a week, bringing the most up-to-date content. Also want to thank our friends over there at Root Bear for sponsoring here at Prime Sports World. Check the link to their website on our NBA Supreme page, along with our Facebook page as well. Some breaking news just came into the newsroom here at Prime Sports World. Paul George is going to miss tonight's play-in game against the New Orleans Pelicans. He has tested positive for the coronavirus, COVID-19. He's going to miss tonight's game. Let's just talk about that for just a moment. What do you think that impact will be on that game entirely? Do you think that changes the results of that game?
Who was it they play? New
They're playing
Orleans.
the Pelicans.
It's. I mean, if I'm New Orleans, it's obviously it's one less thing. It's obviously like the main thing. I'm not. It's the, I ain't got to focus on it like that. 30 points. That's 8 rebounds. That's
Defense
four,
tenacity. It's 2.5 steals a game.
right.
Somebody's a leader in the lot. Somebody's going to be leading this team. It's a huge blow, and I honestly think it may swing this game. I think it probably allows the Pelicans to beat the Clippers tonight, based on the fact that Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram for sure should have a field day in this game now that Paul George is out. But this COVID's still a thing. It's still people are still testing positive, people are still dying from it. So hopefully, Paul George is going to be okay. Obviously.
And it's unfortunate because if the game was like Monday, right? It allows time for it to be like maybe it's like a false positive
Yeah.
thing like that. It gives it enough time. It gives him enough time to get another test in to be at least like a false positive or something like that. But the game's tonight. Like the game is in
I mean,
six
it's in
seven hours.
6 7 hours. I mean, the timing is extremely unfortunate. You want to see Paul George in the playoffs. You want to see the Clippers with a real chance because Tyronn Lue's coached his ass off on this. Like this has been one of the better coaching jobs in the league this year. The fact that he has them in the play-on, giving how much time people have missed on this roster, it's a real miracle that this team is even in the play-ins. Like we have other teams, not mentioning other teams, but like that missed players on their roster as well this season. They didn't even sniff the playoffs.
No.
Not naming any names, Lakers. So yeah, it's a real bummer. It's unfortunate. But the Clippers will have to get through. I mean, they've survived a bunch this season. They're a versatile group. They got Norman Powell back during the tail end of the regular season. Give you some spark plug that you lose from Paul George, but not. They don't have anybody to replace Paul. He's one of the top 10 players.
No, it's definitely like that's definitely something that's hard to replace. Like to get the other aspects of what Paul George does, like I feel like the 8 rebounds, the 6 assists, the 2.5 steals that you mentioned, the defense that he plays. That's I think when people think of a star player like that going out, the first thing is, damn, where am I going to find 25 to 30 points? Where
Yeah,
am I going to get that? But like you said, like Norman Powell ain't no bum, right? Norman Powell can get his. That's why you traded for him. That's why you traded for Robert Covington. You're hoping Reggie Jackson can have a better game than what he had the last outing. There's no Patrick Beverly on the Pelicans to make things tough for him. Right?
yeah.
And if I if,
So
so,
But yeah, our thoughts are with the Paul George. We'll see what happens with that. Moving into our playoff preview. So what we're going to be doing today is going to be previewing every first round matchup that we have set up for the 2022 playoffs, and then we're actually going to talk about the teams that are going to be coming out of the East and the West, and who will eventually hoist the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Let's start with the first round matchups. We'll talk about the first round. We got the number 1 seed Phoenix Suns. They're either going to play the Clippers or the Pelicans. That game will be decided tonight. You see their graphic right there. The Suns, 64-18, plus 7.5 point differential, best in the entire NBA. There's the record of the Clippers and the Pelicans. Clippers 42-40, Pelicans 36-46. My question for you today: does it even matter who gets the 8th seed when it's going up against the Phoenix Suns? Exploded
I
on
mean,
offense and on defense.
if I'm the Phoenix Suns, in your head, like to the fan, it doesn't matter, right? To the fan, it doesn't matter. To the casual fan, because believe it or not, there are like many basketball fans who literally only watch basketball NBA season during this time of year, playoffs, right? So to the casual,
That doesn't surprise me.
so to the casual fan, it doesn't matter. But if I'm the Phoenix Suns, I 100% want to face New Orleans more than I want to face the Clippers, because the Clippers match up better against me than the Pelicans do. If the Clippers were to play the Suns in the first round, that legit might be their toughest matchup the whole playoffs, up until they go to the finals and whoever meets them in the finals, if they make it to the finals. Right? So hindsight, it probably won't matter, because whoever they get, they're probably going to beat them. It's just if they get New Orleans, it's most likely going to be a sweep or a gentleman's sweep. And if they get the Clippers the Clippers have proven even without Kawhi Leonard that they can give Phoenix all they can handle.
I mean, they took him to 6 games last year, and this team is deeper this year than it was last
Than
year.
it was last year.
Like, you got Norman Powell, you got Robert Covington. Those guys are not slouches. Those guys can play, and they give you, like, two of them combined kind of give what a single Kawhi Leonard gives you. Like, Norman Powell is a good shooter. He can create an offense off the dribble. He's a good basketball player. And Robert Covington is a really good defender. Like, he's a good wing defender who can hit the three, he can shoot a little bit. Like, he's gonna give you that energy as well. Like, so if you need a guy like Robert Covington, but I honestly, my personal opinion is I don't think it matters who comes out of the play-in game. Phoenix is gonna sweep whoever comes out of there. This Phoenix Suns team is going to make a deep playoff run. They're the best team in the NBA for a reason. 64-18. People thought that they would slip up a little bit when they lost Chris Paul for 2 months. No, they lost. I think they lost like 2 games during that entire stretch. I know at the very beginning of that stretch it looked a little rough, but Devin Booker proved that he's a superstar in the highest order during that stretch. And I don't think it matters who comes out of that playing game. The Phoenix Suns are built to go to the finals.
They better. I'm just saying that they better.
I mean, this is their best shot. I mean, when you look at the landscape of the Western Conference, we'll talk about that like a little bit later. But like, if you look at the landscape of the Western Conference, they have a real shot here to go to the finals again, because the Western Conference is a little down as opposed to past.
It is. It definitely. Now this next matchup, this 2-7 matchup.
Yeah, so the 2-7 match, we got the Grizzlies and the Timberwolves going up against each other. Grizzlies 56-26, 5.7 point differential. Timberwolves 46-36, 2.7 point differential.
So everybody remembers that first round series that no one ever seems to really talk about anymore. That 08 Bulls Celtics series that was like the most epic first round series ever.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like ever, like every game was entertaining. Every game was just amazing, and Celtics fans, it only went 7 because because KG was gone. Well, you still had Paul Pierce and Ray Allen. You should have beat that team. It shouldn't have went 7. This series right here has been tagged to be like the next version of that.
Well, because you got a hungry Minnesota Timberwolves team who has really turned it on as of late, and the city is really excited about the Minnesota Timberwolves. We saw their celebration, and I think Memphis, the Karl Anthony Towns thing, I think is something that they may struggle with on defense. Like, what do you do with Karl Anthony Towns if you're the Memphis Grizzlies?
Well, obviously you start with Steven Adams on him, or Jaren Jackson Jr. They're both going to take their
Scott?
their shots at him. Obviously, like if you're Minnesota, you like your chances because you don't have the best player in this series, you have players 2, 3, and 4, right? So you got
Yeah.
there's Ja from Memphis, right? He's the best player in this series,
I
and
think it's
then
pretty.
there's
I think it's pretty close between Carl and Towns, but I think
well,
you're splitting
the
hairs a little bit.
yeah, nah,
Okay.
nah. I don't think it's close. Like talent wise, it's close, but other than that, no, it's not close.
Okay.
Ja has been in the MVP conversation. Hasn't. Cat has needed stuff around him to elevate his game to even be talked about as one of the best big men in this league. There's levels to this.
You're not wrong. You're not.
Okay. So, but that being said, you got Ja for Memphis, and then Cat is at 2. Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell flip flop at 2, at 3 and 4, and then you fill in the blanks for whoever you want going down the slide. Just like Minnesota has a very underrated talent, a very underrated talented roster. They got some long dudes on there, but just I don't know why they're just a 70. Like in my opinion, they should be better than what they are. They definitely should be better than what they are. All I know is Karl Anthony Towns cannot have a game like how he had the other night against the Clippers. He was awful, and the fact that Minnesota won,
He fouled out in the third quarter. There's
like the
it's
fact
indefensible.
is not like the fact that Minnesota won that game got him off the hook for sure.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
it was.
if they had lost that game, man, Carl Anthony Towns would be seeing all the criticism in the world. Like the fact that that celebration is being more criticized than Carl Anthony Towns' play is just something that people are gonna be talking about here like for a long time because like he was pretty bad in that game. Like he basically had 2 offensive fouls on the same play. They could have called either like when he was just bashing into people. Like he was just
Mhm.
playing with reckless abandon, not playing smart basketball. Like you have to understand that you have, you know, um,
And you can tell the difference between like you can tell that they're a young team that they're not used to winning because every single call that was against them, they overreacted and they like you saw how they reacted to it. Like no, like this is not the time to lose your head. Like this is the like regular season fine because you got 80 more games to worry about. This right here, you cannot you can't do that. You can't get ejected. You can't get attacked and like because in the playoffs each possession is just that much more valuable. But this right here, I'm taking Memphis and I'm saying Memphis in 6. I think if Minnesota can steal one of those games in Memphis, which is gonna be easier said than done for sure. The grindhouse is gonna be loud, very loud. This is their, I think, what ain't this their first playoff series, home playoff game in like what?
I think this is their first playoff series since they went to the Western Conference Finals a few years ago.
Like
Maybe not.
it's gonna be loud in the grindhouse.
So yeah, Memphis, 57.6 points to the paint for this season. That's 4.5, basically more than any other team this season. It's third most in the past 26 seasons from which this was being tracked. This is a Memphis Grizzlies team that punishes you in the paint. They have some, and this is one of those Memphis Grizzlies teams that's really built organically. They're built through the draft. They're built through signing free agency. Like there's going to be a debate had here, like in the next on this channel in the next couple weeks about maybe the era of the super team is ending because you have teams that have homegrown stars. You don't necessarily see the top flight teams in both conferences right now are all teams that have their own homegrown talent. You got Miami, who has Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo. This Memphis team with John Morant and the dude from Desmond Bain. So there's going to be a conversation had about maybe the era of the super team is ending as we know it, because you have a Lakers team that doesn't make the playoffs, you have a Clippers team that's in the play-in, and then you have a Brooklyn team who is in the play-in as well. I'm going to take Memphis at 6. Um, I think that Minnesota can make this game interesting. I think they have the offensive firepower to go toe-to-toe with any team in the Western Conference when
Mhm.
it comes to offense. I just don't. I'm not totally sold on their defensive side of the basketball, and I think John Morant is going to have a field day against D'Angelo Russell because I just don't think he's a great defender. I don't think he cares much about the other side of the ball. So give me Memphis by give me 6 for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Your only hope is that Patrick Beverly can slow Ja down. You're
Yeah.
not stopping him. You're not stopping him altogether. You don't.
Well, I mean, if you put I mean, Desmond Bain can take people off the dribble. I mean, they have their offense. I mean, Dylan Brooks hasn't even played much. I expect him to be some kind of a contributor in the playoffs as well.
So the real question is for Minnesota. Yes, they have a deep roster, but it's when I take my big three out at some point in time. Whenever I don't have a D'Angelo Russell or Ant Edwards or a Cat on the court, where is my production going to come from?
Especially at the bigs, especially at the 4-5.
Okay, so I take Cat out. Naz Reid he's solid. I'll give him that. He can hit an open three. So if you have Naz Reid in a pick and pop situation, you cannot leave him wide open for a three because he's capable of hitting that shot.
Yeah, and I think Malik Beasley's a capable backup point guard as well. So moving on to the next matchup, staying here in the Western Conference, we got the Golden State Warriors and the Denver Nuggets going head to head. Warriors 3-29 plus 5.5 point differential. Nuggets 48-34 plus 2.3 point differential. All signs are pointing to Steph Curry being available potentially for Game 1 of this series. What's some of the stuff you're watching when it comes to the Denver Nuggets Warriors?
If Steph ain't there, the Nuggets gonna win.
I tend to agree with you on that.
And even if Steph is there, the Nuggets still have a shot at winning. Why? Because the Nuggets are one of the few. Again, it's all about matchups. The Nuggets match up well with the Warriors, and they have a supreme mismatch at the 5. No one on the Golden State Warriors is checking Joker. No one.
Nobody in the league. I mean, the guy set a record with what was it, 10,000 points, 2,000 assists, 2,000 rebounds, something nobody in the history of the league has ever done.
It was 2,000 points.
Yeah.
It was something crazy, which that legit might have solidified his
MVP candidacy. Yeah,
his MVP candidacy.
Also joining us here on the show is Mr. Israel Rivera. Izzy, we are breaking down Golden State Warriors, Denver Nuggets, the 3-6 matchup in the Western Conference. We started with the 1-8 and 2-7 in the Western Conference. We have not done anything. What's some of the matchups? What are some of the storylines you're following going into the series? Warriors Nuggets.
He left. So it was 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 500 assists. That Nikola Jokic is the first player to do that. He'll be back.
Okay.
Clay is obviously, it's showing that he hasn't played competitive ball in quite a while. He's hit a wall. He's not the Klay Thompson that we're used to seeing, and that was expected. I kind of said that. I legit said that was going to happen. Steph. The thing is with Steph, I would hold him out. All right, I would sit him out these at least games 1 and 2, just to see where I'm at. And it's the same thing with Luka and Utah. If I'm down 0-2 going into game 3, yeah, come on back. If we split 1-1, I still consider bringing him back game 3. If I'm up 2-0,
I don't think you can. I don't think you can afford to do that.
Yeah, you can.
I think this is these teams are all very close to records. They're all pretty talented. I think if you need Steph Curry back immediately because he's the straw that stirs the drink. I don't think they're gonna if they're able to get him back, even if they win 2 games in a row. I think they still do get them back. But the real question is, can the Nuggets relieve some of this Jokic burden? I don't think Jamal Murray, I don't think Michael Porter Jr. Neither of those guys are coming back. But where is the other production going to be because like we talked about this a billion times when it comes to Giannis. Like we'll just let Giannis have his, but nobody else is going to like that. Do you have like who is the other guy who's going to step up? Like who's going to be the guy that steps up?
It's got to be Aaron Gordon. That's why you traded for him.
Yeah, I mean, but
Like,
when you traded for him, you traded him supplement
like
what you
obviously
already
when you
have.
traded for him, you know, Jamal Murray. I mean, Jamal Murray was still out, but you didn't count on.
Jamal Murray got hurt like right after that trade.
Well, yeah, Jamal Murray was still like he was in the picture, but you didn't count on Jamal Murray getting hurt. You also didn't count on Michael Porter Jr. getting hurt again. But Aaron Gordon has proven that he can take like Aaron Gordon has proven that he can like his game has gotten better. He's more than just the dunker that he was when he came into the league and put on the shows that he did at the dunk contest. Aaron Gordon can step out and hit a three. Aaron Gordon can put the ball on the floor and get to the basket. All right, he's more than capable of creating his own offense, so he can do that. Right, and
He's
it's
having
easy.
he's having somewhat of a down season this year, but um, his all of his percentages are kind of down across the board. But um, yeah, he is capable of stretching the floor, creating his own offense, igniting a fast break with the ball in his hands. Like,
I I
go
agree
ahead.
with TJ. I agree with TJ. I mean, it's gonna come down to three dudes. It's gonna have to be Aaron Gordon, Monte Morris, Will Barton. All of them gonna have to
All of
level
it. It's
up.
gonna have to be a
All of them
collective
gonna have to
effort.
level up, especially like Will Barton and Monte Morris, because they don't really have much on the wing, or from at the point guard, shooting guard position. Really, outside of those two guys, you're missing Jamal Murray. He hasn't played all season. Yeah, Michael Porter ain't there. Austin Rivers is Austin Rivers, and that it's pretty outside of Jokic. It's pretty much a wild card. So what kind?
I mean, they got Hanzo who's hurt. Bones Highland's been a really nice story as a rookie.
And that's and I don't know what the hell that was, but
Are you
Bones
gonna be all right?
Highland,
You gonna be okay?
he Bones Highland he's definitely shown that he can get hot and hang with the best of them. Remember that game in Philly? Bones Highland was the one that hit the net delivered the nail in the coffin that on that comeback. And
Yeah.
so if I'm Golden State, yeah, I'm gonna let Joker get his. I mean, because trying to stop him and stop them as a team is going to result to Joker just carving you up and doing whatever he wants. Because the real question is for Golden State, who do you put on them? Who starts the game guarding Nikola Jokic?
I guess it's got to be Draymond Green. I mean, if you want to be considered the best defender in the history of the league, I mean, this is your time to shine, baby. Like, as for my pick, I think Steph Curry comes back in game one. I think the Golden State Warriors get rolling. I got the Warriors in 5 games. I think the superstar status of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green is going to be too much for a single Nikola Jokic to handle. I think they'll win game 3 in Denver, but that's the only game I see Denver taking. I just without Jamal Murray, without MPJ, they don't have the star power, like the scoring output on the other positions to really compete. They just won't.
Obviously, if you're Golden State, this is where you miss James Wiseman. If not for anything, just for his size, because that's like 7 foot to 7 foot. Like you can have your opinions on him all you want. You can call him a bust all you want. Because I
I
know
think it's
there's
a
Warriors.
little premature for that, but
I know there are Warriors fans who out there that feel that way.
well, I mean, obviously there would have been LaMelo Ball would have been a better pick because at least he's been productive on the
But
floor.
if I'm the Golden State Warriors, I'm looking at it like I got Steph. Clay's coming back eventually. That's different if Clay doesn't come back at all, right?
True.
Like if he has those injuries and he's like, I'm done, I'm retiring. That's when you draft the LaMelo Ball, right?
Okay.
So Oh, I might go 3-6. This is a tough one too. I would not be upset at all if Denver won this matchup in 7.
I wouldn't be either. I think this Denver Nuggets team, the fact that Nikola Jokic carried them through the regular season, like all the
Cause
players they've missed this year, the fact that they're the 6th seed in the Western Conference, is a testament to how good they've been this year. And some other teams were missing star players for brief periods of time who did make the playoffs. Like, come on.
Cause I know, like, even with Steph, even with the Warriors being healthy, the Nuggets have still given the Warriors all they can handle. Like, it is what it is. So yeah, I'm going Denver in 7. Um, Also with Steph, like, even if he does come back game 1, watch how he moves. He's not gonna be the stuff that we're used to, because all it takes is one misstep, one tweak of that
As
ankle,
as we learned with Kawhi Leonard a few years ago.
one tweak, and he's
Izzy,
out again.
Izzy, who do you got winning this series? Nuggets. Oh, he's not. All right,
Nuggets in 7.
moving on from this game. Yeah, I'll take the Nuggets. I'll take Warriors in 6. I'll give the Nuggets 4 games. You've convinced me.
Okay.
From there, we got the Dallas Mavericks playing the number 5 seed Utah Jazz. Mavericks 52-30. Mavericks 3.3 point differential. Jazz 49-33. 6 points, positive 6 point differential. Latest on Luka is a calf strain. He's considered day to day. The Mavericks do not have to give an injury update until today, which they have not done yet. Um, it if Luka cannot play at all, if he misses a single game in the series, the Mavericks will go down. This is a Utah Jazz team that cannot afford
Well,
to have your best player miss even a.
again, how I legit think how the Mavericks are handling Luca is how the Warriors should handle Steph. Luca's not playing game 1. He's not playing game 1. It is what it is. He's not gonna like. He's not gonna play game 1. So I legit think they base it off of how they look the first 2 games, because Jalen Brunson is more than capable enough
Sure, he is.
than running point for the team.
I mean, if you want to get paid, this would be the
This is
time
the
that, like,
time to show. And
yeah.
if I'm the Utah Jazz, yeah, Luca is not there for now, but don't act like Jalen Brunson, Spencer Dinwiddie, Tim Hardaway Jr.
Done for the year.
When did he get hurt?
I don't know, but he's not gonna play.
Anyway, they still got enough. They got enough talent on that team to make
They
Utah
got the
sweat. They got enough, and this is not. Hey, don't act like
and this is not a Dallas Mavericks team as before where they needed to do on offense. Like, this is a Dallas Mavericks team that can really
they
defend.
will lock you up, bro.
They've been the best defensive team in the Western Conference for a reason. Like, they
And
allow the fewest points in the entire conference.
and don't act like this is a Utah team that's rolling on all cylinders.
No,
There is some
they're struggling coming into the playoffs, losing. They won 4 straight. They're 4 out of 6 in their last 10 games.
there is some dissension in that locker room, and Rudy Gobert has been linked to a trade with the Jazz. With the Mavericks. So there is big dissension in the organization that is the Utah Jazz. We could literally, if they lose this first round matchup, we could be looking at, like, Mitchell being gone or Gobert being gone and Quinn Snyder being fired.
I tend to agree with you on that, because there's so it's been pretty well documented, pretty well reported. Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert not
Do
hanging
not
out
like each
after.
other.
They're not like they're teammates, and they'll be work together, but they're not hanging out outside of games. They're not friends. Like, they're not. I think a lot of the way Rudy Gobert handled all the COVID situation, with the way he kind of, like, childishly messed around with it, kind of cost them. Like Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert do not see eye to eye. That's been pretty well documented. And if there is a superstar player who could be the next guy who requests, hey, I want to get out of here, I want to go somewhere else, it's Donovan Mitchell. His name's already bouncing around the league already. Like, if the Knicks want to, if the Knicks want to add him this offseason, they probably could if this doesn't go well. This is a Utah team that was the number 1 seed in Western Conference last season. They got beat by a Clippers team without Kawhi Leonard, and they had where they had a 2-0 lead, and they ended up losing 4 games in a row, including a game where they were up by 25 points at one point, Game 6, to let that series slip away. But I think if Luka Doncic play Game 1, they're gonna, which I sort of don't expect him to, because the calf strain is something I just dealt with a calf strain. I know I'm not having doctors, I'm not having medical facility, but I literally couldn't walk. So I went to Atletico, a physical therapy place. They diagnosed me with a grade 3 calf strain, and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you probably shouldn't play basketball for a month. I was like, oh, okay. So
A month.
I went to the gym the next day, 2 days later, to try to play basketball. I literally couldn't run at all. I couldn't push off of it, and I was I couldn't backpedal. There was no way I could have played. I did though, but I didn't have a good time. And it hurt like hell the whole time I played. This is an injury, a normal injury you miss 2 to 3 weeks of the regular season, because it's a playoff series. You're gonna rush him back. Luka, he's not gonna play Game 1. I think that'll be the downfall. I'll take the Utah Jazz actually in 6 games. I think this is also the fact that Utah is going to be under pressure. They understand. They have to understand that if they don't at least win a playoff series this year, or make some kind of playoff run this year, there's going to be some major changes in Utah. We're talking about the coach getting fired. We're talking about Donovan Mitchell being gone. We're talking about Rudy Gobert getting gone. Bogdanovich is not going to be on this roster anymore. We're significant changes to this overall structure of this team. They cannot get this done. The pressure's on. Utah, I think they rise to the challenge. I think they take the series in 6 games.
And
If Luka plays in Game 1, I still think Utah is gonna win this.
I mean, here's the thing: they gonna sit them out these first 2 games, right? If Utah just blow the gates out of them, blow the gates off of them the first 2 games, then they ain't gonna have no choice but to bring Luka back. They ain't gonna have no choice.
Yeah, true.
Right? If they go into Game 3 1-1, you have that conversation, right?
Well, I mean, at that point, he will have had 2 weeks to rehab, give or take.
If they go to Utah, which is the more unlikely situation, if they go to Utah up 2-0, then you consider not bringing Luka back, at least for Game 3. You see what happened games, you sit them out for Game 3. But if they go up, if they're down 0-2 going to Utah,
or even 1-1. I think even if you're down 1-1.
I think if you bring, I legit think if they split and they go to Utah 1-1, they have the conversation of bringing him back, leaning towards not bringing him back. I think they see how Game 3 goes before consider bringing him back.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go. Luka come back. I'm gonna go Dallas in 6.
Yeah, I'll take Utah in 6. I'm gonna roll with it. I think the Utah Jazz. I think they have enough firepower and offense. I think they're also one of those teams that a tricky team to kind of really digest, because they do have some really good players on it. Donovan Mitchell could go off any moment.
He can, but I also think that that's where they're at as a team. It's Donovan. It's obviously it's been that way for a while, and you can tell it's starting to weigh on him. It can't just be Donovan Mitchell or bust, right?
Yeah.
Somebody else has to, carry this burden. The second highest paid player on the team, or highest paid. I don't know how.
I think Rudy Gobert is the highest paid player on this team.
The highest paid player on this team. I can't even dump the ball down to him and be like, "Hey, big man, go to work, get me a bucket." The only way he's scoring is if I set him up, or just Mike Conley sets him up.
The other thing is, Rudy Gobert has had some monster games against the Dallas Mavericks. His stat line this season has been pretty impressive against Dallas. So he does give them sort of a problem, because they don't really have anybody that can even. I know he doesn't have the offensive skill set in the post, but if they could really utilize Gobert in an effective way, they don't have anybody that can guard him out there. He's a matchup problem for Dallas. Put up big numbers.
At this stage in Rudy Gay's career, if Rudy Gay goes out and beats me,
Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert. But Rudy Gay, like you were talking about Rudy Gay having big games against Dallas. If Rudy Gay
No. I said Gobert.
oh, whatever. If
Hey.
Rudy Gobert goes out there and beats me, if he drops 40 and beats me, you know what? I'll walk to the middle of the court, shake his hand. Hey, good game, good luck. See y'all next year. But we already know that's not gonna happen. So I ain't got to worry about Rudy Gobert beating me.
Before we move on into the Eastern Conference, Mr. Rivera, thank you very much for joining the show, man.
I've been going back. I'm sorry about that, guys. I've had some technical difficulties, and I'm trying to go back and forth, and I had a busy call come in. So I'm sorry about that. But if I'm going to go with the first round, the first matchup between Golden State, and I had to pick a winner between Golden State and Denver, I'm going Golden State.
First, are you taking Phoenix over whoever? Are you taking Phoenix over whoever comes out of the play-in?
Yes, absolutely. And
then who do you have? Who do you have in the 2-7 matchup?
In the 6, you said which matchup?
2-7, Grizzlies Timberwolves.
Grizzlies Timberwolves. Ooh, I'm gonna go with Minnesota in 7.
And then on the slide we're on right now, Golden State versus Denver. How do you see this shaking out?
I got Golden State beating Denver, and then I got Utah beating Dallas. I don't know what the status is. That Luka injury scares me a little bit with the calf. We don't know how he's gonna be ginger, if he's gonna how his game is gonna be affected by that. And I just think Utah's just a better team. Period.
I tend. So I guess we'll see. Yeah, TJ's the one that doesn't pick Dallas, so I guess we'll see who's right when it all is said and done. Moving on now into the Eastern Conference, Miami Heat will play either the Cavs or the Hawks. Heat 53-9 plus 4.4 point differential. The Cavs are 44-38. The Hawks 43-39. Do you think it matters who comes out of the play-in when it comes to the Miami matchup?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does because I think if
I think it does too. I think if it's Atlanta, I think they might beat Miami.
Oh.
I think hey, real talk, keeping it 100. I think both teams could beat them, especially if Jared Allen come back.
If Jared Allen comes back, definitely.
Jared Allen is the game time for tonight's game. He's still nursing that finger injury.
So let's dissect this, right? Let's just say Atlanta wins. All right, you got Atlanta, Miami. Okay. Trae Young, Kyle Lowry. Okay. Who the hell?
Bogdanovich versus Jimmy Butler.
Bogdanovich is dealing with a knee issue. He ain't letting it stop him because he's still out there playing. And even if the knee issue is, is bad, I don't need you to do a lot of moving, bro. I can use you as a decoy because they ain't finna leave open.
No, because he can shoot that thing. He can shoot that thing. I'm looking.
Same thing with Kevin Huerter. So do I let Trae Young drive past Kyle Lowry and let him carve me up, or do I let him drive past me, collapse, leave Bogdanovich open, leave DeAndre Hunter open, leave Kevin Huerter open, and hope they miss?
Danilo Gallinari.
Leave him open.
My X factor in this whole series is gonna be Tyler Hero. It's gonna be Tyler Hero. Who on Atlanta's right mind of a bench can even stick him? Nobody. And Miami is a tougher defensive-minded team. And if Jimmy Butler and them guys are gonna come out there and they're gonna shove him, they're gonna hit him, they're gonna punch him in the mouth. And what happens with Atlanta? I don't even think they get past Cleveland anyways. But what happens with Atlanta when they get hit in the mouth and they get punched and get shoved to the floor? They fold. They fold up. Well, this is not the same team as last year.
Their saving grace of the Miami Heat is they have a team full of playoff heavy vets, right? You got Jimmy Butler, who, again, like a bunch of the guys on this team went to an Eastern Conference Finals. No,
NBA
Finals. The final. I mean, Bam, Tyler Hero.
I corrected myself. Kyle Lowry has a ring.
PJ Tucker has a ring.
PJ Tucker has a ring, right? Like, no one on Atlanta outside of Lou Williams, and I don't know what the status of what his status is. No one outside of Lou Williams.
I would not expect him to play it this series. I also wouldn't expect John Collins to play it this series if this ends up being a matchup.
Mm-hmm. Right now, that would have been my X factor had John Collins been healthy.
But he hasn't even played the last 16 games of the season either, TJ. So like putting him into the rotation now. It's the same thing with like Ben Simmons. You know, putting him in rotation now, it's kind of like, how's that? And the Atlanta's been playing well down the stretch. So putting him in the rotation now, how does that affect the chemistry of that rotation? You know? And so, I just think if you could get past Miami somehow, some way, if you do get past Cleveland in Miami and John Collins is healthy and he's able to practice, then I think he'll be a benefit in the second round matchup. This first round matchup,
And and not to mention like that would be a interdivision matchup. So like it's not like they don't know what each other want, like what each team wants to do.
Yeah, I mean they play each other 4 times a year for a reason.
Yep. Now on the flip side, if I'm Cleveland and I win this game and that lineup I had at the beginning of the year, yeah, I'm bringing that back. I'm trying out Garland, LeVert at the 2, Markkanen, Mobley, Allen. I'm going huge.
That's a big lineup. That is a big, large, long lineup.
I am because one Jared Allen, you can Jared Allen or Mobley, y'all can take Bam 1-on-1. I am more than confident and y'all can handle y'all own against Bam. Right? PJ Tucker, not really an offensive threat. I ain't got unless he in the short corner.
He literally could not make his own offense. Like not that he was great at that anyways before, but he's literally a defensive player at this point in his career.
Karis LeVert, Jimmy Butler, go crazy. Everybody can match up 1-on-1. The X factor in that lineup would have to be Larry Markkanen. Bro, you got to produce. You're 7 foot. You're probably going to be on someone way smaller than you.
And I was going to say, and I'll say this though, and then with Tyler Hero coming off the bench, you could put Isaac Okoro or whatever, whoever, on him. You know, who could play defense. When I just think that the X factor in either one of these teams is Tyler Hero. I just think that there's really nobody that can guard him. He's going to bring a production off the bench that's bar none. It's superior in the league. I mean, the kid, he's virtually a starter coming off the bench.
He's going to be a runaway 6-man award
winner. Yeah, and so I just think that Miami has a little bit more than both of these teams, but I can definitely see if Atlanta, either one of these teams, they're going to give Miami a run for their money, at least 6 games.
Now again, the only difference is with Cleveland is the lack thereof of experience. Like you got Kevin Love, Rondo.
That's it. Yep, and that's off the bench. Off the bench. The 2 OGs off the bench.
That's off the bench. That's it, right? So yeah, Cleveland. I legit think like next season for sure, Cleveland should definitely be, a team to be a force to be reckoned with. Now this 2-7 matchup. This
I will say. So real quick, so I think the Hawks are going to beat the Cavs tonight, and I actually have the Hawks beat in 7. There's my pick. Hawks in 7.
And that's kind of similar to that Minnesota Memphis pick that I just made. I think they could beat them in 7 too.
Hawks in 7 games.
I'm gonna take. Yeah, it matters the matchup, but I'm gonna go with the vets over the young guns. I'm gonna go Miami over
either one of those teams.
Either one of them, really.
Yeah, I'm in the playing game. I'm actually gonna go Cleveland.
It's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be a tough game. The playing game gonna be tough, but I think I got Cleveland winning that game, and then I got Miami winning in 6 against Cleveland.
David, you remember that one series when we was in school? It was a sweep, but it was like the most competitive sweep ever.
Yeah, you're talking about the Pacers got swept by the Cavs.
Yeah, it was
I think they lost by a total of 11 points in 4 games.
Or 8 points combined, something like that.
Yeah.
What about the Bulls versus the Heat? The Bulls versus the Heat. That was, they lost. What was it? 4. They lost 4-1, but that was the most competitive 4-1 matchup I've seen.
I think that has whoever the Heat play. I think that has the parameters to be something along the lines of that.
I can see that. Moving on from this, we got the 2-7 seed. We got the Boston Celtics taking on the Brooklyn Nets. Celtics 51-31, 7.3 point differential, best in the conference. The Nets 44-38, 0.8 point differential. Let's talk about Ben Simmons here for a second before we get into anything else. Ben Simmons projecting he's going to play at the 4, 5, 6 point of this series. if Ben Simmons had just kept himself in basketball shape, could have been productive on this team like right away. The fact that he hasn't played yet after the trade is just baffling. What do you do if you're Brooklyn with Ben Simmons? Do you even do
Well,
you just hold him off
I
until
just,
next season? What do you do?
I
What do
just,
you do with him?
my question to you is, how do you keep yourself in basketball shape without playing basketball?
I mean, you could go to the Y, man. Like there are ways
That's
you
not,
can.
that's not. Come on,
Come on,
no, no,
man.
stop it, stop it. You is not finna sit here. You are not finna sit there. No, 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 no. You are not finna sit there
No, but
and
the thing is,
regulate. You are not finna regulate NBA level basketball to playing at the fucking
you
Y.
can keep yourself in
You
shape
are
at least.
not
You don't
doing
have
that.
you don't have to try to ramp
Okay.
yourself up so much that you have a hernia.
Okay, he's keeping himself in shape. That's probably what he was doing. But for you to like downgrade NBA basketball
I
to
didn't mean
playing
like
at
that.
the
There
Y.
are certainly ways you
Come
can keep
on,
yourself in
man.
shape, man.
So I get what David's kind of
I
trying to
get what
say,
he's
because
saying too.
remember when D Rose got released from the Cavs and he was in some random gym with some Joe Schmo just keeping the shape. Remember that, David?
I also imagine Ben Simmons' contract doesn't allow him to play at the Y. Like the way the contracts are set up now in the NBA, I bet you can't just show up at a Y and play.
I mean, these guys are
Like
rich as hell. They're at performance freaking facilities. You know what I mean? With basketball courts are crazy. Like, come on.
Yeah. He's probably got a basketball court in his house that he could have just stayed game shape ready. Like at least somewhat. Like we're not to the point where you have in order to ramp yourself up, you have a hernia while doing that.
I'm gonna be real with you guys. You don't need Ben Simmons to win in this series.
You don't.
You really don't. And if I'm the Nets, I mean, I honestly don't even use Ben Simmons, period, this year. I mean, I just sit him and just wait to play him next season. I think Brooklyn has enough to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals right now. I mean, especially Kyrie can play every game. I mean, albeit if they have to play Toronto, maybe I don't know if they have to play Toronto the next round. That would be interesting.
I also think he can play in
Golden
California.
State.
Yeah,
in California. We'll have to look that up.
That ends up being the finals matchup.
Yeah, that would be rough for Brooklyn. So, but I think honestly, you can. I mean, in my opinion, just the cash. I mean, Kevin Durant and Kyrie. I mean, they're the two best players on the court. I don't care. Jason Tatum, Button, superstar or whatever. Jaylen Brown, whatever. Marcus Smart's gonna win the DPOY. It don't matter, because when Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving get going, it's nobody in the league that can stop that duo, and they're gonna put up numbers against the Celtics. This might be. I'm gonna go with the Nets in 6.
I'm gonna go Nets in 5. I think this very nice story that Boston's had the second half of the season has been very nice, right? Very nice. They've been, was it like 25 and 3 since the All-Star break? But I think the big thing here is the Robert Williams injury. The Celtics haven't been really as good since Robert Williams has gone down. I look for that to be their downfall. And Kevin Durant, there's no matchup. I know Jason Tatum can match him for size, but like Kevin Durant's the best player in the league, probably.
Yeah,
he can't match. Yeah. He can't match him up on size because Kevin Durant's 4 inches taller than him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, but
I am super concerned about the Nets on the defensive side of the basketball because they don't really have. That's where they could really use Ben Simmons. If Ben Simmons could just come back and just play defense, like that's what they could use him for in this series and every other series.
What do you guys think of? Let me ask you a quick question. What do you guys think about Bruce Brown saying, "Oh, we're going to attack the Celtics bigs because they don't have Robert Williams"? Was that a smart? I don't think that was.
I agree with KD. Shut up.
Yeah, shut up. Right, exactly.
Yeah, don't give out our strategy.
Yeah, exactly.
Shut up. But,
like, what was your point of saying that? You know, it's like
bro, like everybody know, like, and what's crazy is like everybody knows what he's gonna do. Everybody knows Robert Williams isn't there. Everybody knows Al Horford isn't the defender that he was in his younger days. But at the same time, you don't have a low post like Andre Drummond has never been a back to the basket center where you can dump the ball down to him and get a bucket. He's not that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Marcus Aldridge has been really all that good this season, and Blake Griffin hasn't been remotely all that good this season. Like he's basically fallen out of the rotation entirely.
But I would not be surprised at all if at least Aldridge gets some playing time.
Well, I think Marcus Aldridge is going to get a ton of playing time. Like he's the one guy that Boston doesn't necessarily have an answer. There's nobody they can really put on him. And then you got
Well,
Gordon
yeah,
Dragic,
I'll-
who's got championship experience. Patty Mills has championship experience. Cam Thompson has been a really nice this as well.
Same thing with what's his name? The kid from Pepperdine. What's his name? Is he
Oh,
is it Kessler
from the-
Edwards? Is that
Yeah, Kessler, yeah,
oh, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
power forward.
so? Yeah, if I'm Boston, obviously it's coming down to, my two versus their two. Brown, Tatum, Kyrie, KD. Can Marcus Smart make Kyrie Irving's life a living hell? Enough
I
for
mean,
us to
he
win
can
this
certainly
series.
try.
He can try, but I like that's the difference between Kyrie Irving. Like Kyrie Irving, he welcomes that. He wants that. Like he thinks his handle is that damn great, and it is. That I don't care how hard a defense you play on me, I'm gonna get to my spot and I'm gonna get my shot off.
Yeah, I mean, Kyrie is the most complete, like, combo guard in the game. I mean, he can legit do it all from all over the floor. He can kill you in transition. He can kill you in the half court. He can kill you from three. He can kill you from mid range. He can kill you at the basket.
And he can post you up. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, look,
I'm
that's
taking,
Kobe.
I'm taking the Nets in 5 games.
Oh, Nets in 5. That's disrespectful.
No, it's not.
It ain't. It is, but it ain't.
It really
I'm
not.
gonna go.
Yeah.
It is, but it ain't. I'm gonna go Brooklyn. And I think this is going 7. I legit think this is going 7.
Ooh,
I'm going Brooklyn
true.
in 7.
Is he? How do you see
Oh,
this one?
I already picked. I had the Nets in 6.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm taking them in
Yeah.
5. Moving on to the other side of this matchup, we got the Milwaukee Bucks, 3-6 seed, taking on the Chicago Bulls. Bucks 51-31, positive 3.4 point differential. Bulls 46-36, 0.4 point difference, worst among Eastern Conference playoff teams.
It just depressed me
I mean,
with this
the
matchup.
Bulls,
I just got depressed.
the Bulls got the worst draw they could have had when it comes to the first round matchup. I think they would have had a better chance against Philadelphia. I think they would have had a better chance against Boston. This is a terrible draw. They have nobody that can check Giannis. And I know, TJ, what you're going to say. That Giannis get his, nobody else beat us. But the Bucks is just a bad matchup. Like, we just don't play well against them.
No, we don't.
And my coworker Chucky Vision, shout out to Chucky Vision. He thinks we're going to get 3 games in the series. Hell no.
Hell
no.
no.
We'll get one game.
And we're gonna get game
right
1
now. I'm wearing my Rondo jersey right now. We're gonna get one game. We're gonna get game 3.
Lucky to get.
We're gonna get 1
2.
game, and it's gonna be game 1. We're gonna get game 1, and that's it.
No, we're gonna get game 3. Milwaukee's gonna come out like gangbusters game 1. We might get blown up by 40 in game 1.
Oh,
on the real. It's true.
David. My thing is if Vucevic got to play a lot better. Io, all those guys, Io, Caruso, they all got to step it up to make it competitive. I think the Bulls losing 5. And I got a lot of Bucks friends that are just pissing me off. But it is what it is, bro. They could brag because they have the best team, arguably in the East right now. Top to bottom.
Yeah, I'm looking at it from the Bulls standpoint. Again, to the NBA fans or Bulls fans in general, the Bulls are not pretenders. No one ever picked the Bulls to win a championship this season. Even when they was in first place, no one ever thought the Bulls was going to win a championship. Why? Because we still had to face a Milwaukee and a Philly or a Brooklyn to even get to that point. And even no one had us beating them. So in order to be a pretender, championship aspirations have to be real in the first place. So shut up with the Bulls are pretenders. No, they're not. The goal was to do this here. Make the playoffs and go from there. Make the playoffs, lose, because you're going to lose. You're going to lose. And see what moves have to be made at that point. So we're going to go up against Milwaukee. We're going to go up against Milwaukee. Obviously, like David said, worst draw that we could possibly ask. If I'm Nikola Vucevic, I take you ask me, hey, take your threes, when you're open. But mostly, I want you in the paint. I want you in the paint. Now, obviously, you being on the 3 takes a Brook Lopez away from the basket, right? That's easy. If Brook Lopez is the only 7-footer on the court, there's going to be at least 2 more.
Yeah.
You got Bobby Portis.
Bobby Portis, Serge
And
Ibaka.
Giannis.
Giannis is 7 feet tall. I mean, Chris
There's
Middleton's
gonna,
like 6'10", 6'8".
there's going to be
Like,
2 more if you take Brook Lopez away from the basket, right? Or even if he's not on the floor. Even if he's not on the floor, like you just said, like Giannis, Portis, Middleton. Like, that's still a solid rebounding front court.
Well, I already know who's going to be on Giannis. We already know who's going to be on Giannis. That's going to be the Paul.
I mean, I think you can try. I mean,
and he's gonna be in foul trouble all series.
Again, it's like I said, Giannis is gonna get, like, with any series when in this playoffs with superstars, the opposing team, you're not gonna stop them. So I hate when fans, you gotta stop him. You're not stopping them. They're the elite of the elite for, like, they're the elite of the elite for a reason. Like, Giannis is a 2-time defensive player of the year. Do you think he's gonna stop Kevin Durant from getting 30? No. He's gonna get his.
Like, but the thing is, so like TJ always talks about, you have to stop everybody else for it.
You gotta stop somebody else. You gotta stop everybody else from being you. Sorry, I just cracked.
I was like,
the water bottle and threw it away. So I can live with Giannis getting his 30 and 12. I can't live with Giannis getting his 30 and 12 and Middleton getting 25, Drew getting 20, Bobby Portis getting 15. That's how you get
15 points. That's how you get blown out by 40.
Brook Lopez getting 16, 20. That's how you get blown out by 40.
I think the only saving grace here for the Bulls is that the Bucks haven't been as good on defense as they were in past. They're kind of middle of the road when it comes to defense this year. And so maybe, I mean, DeMar DeRozan can get his offense cooking for a couple games. But, I mean, Zach LaVine's kind of had a kind of disappointing season this year. Like, he hasn't been
he's hurt.
Yeah, I know he's hurt, but, like, he hasn't been exactly the, like, everybody thought he'd be the Batman, but, like, he ended up becoming Robin this season.
Yeah. He's definitely became Robin, but I think
I just lost him. But yeah, I'll take Milwaukee in 5 games. My coworker Chucky Vision, it's crazy for thinking we're gonna get three games. We're gonna get one.
Yeah,
one game.
that was my next point. Like, this is a big playoff series for Zach LaVine. This is your first playoff. This is your first time in the playoffs. This is a lot of these guys' first time. This is Vucevic's first time in the playoffs in a couple of years. Right? Those are. Yes, it is. When's the last time Orlando made the playoffs?
He was on the playoffs. Like, Orlando made the playoffs like every year he was there. Like, especially that last season, they were a playoff team. Last season, Orlando.
When they traded him away, the Orlando Magic were not a playoff team.
The season before that, they were the
8th. They were when they had DJ Augustine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. The year before that, yeah.
I think they made it 2 years in a row. Like, we always talked about Orlando had a thing. They were either going to blow this up or continue being a middle of the road Eastern Conference team, not going very far.
Oh yeah, isn't that when they had like Terrence Ross, DJ Augustine?
Yeah.
You know, some of those other guys. Yeah.
Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon. Yep. But they've been so terrible that you forget the playoff team.
2020, the Orlando Magic went 21-51. He was on that team.
They were absolutely horrible.
Yeah, I mean, okay, a couple years ago, he's
2019, 2020, they went 33-40. It's been a couple of years. To my point,
33-40 might have been enough to get the playoffs.
It was not.
I mean,
but TJ's right. It was a couple years
since he's been in the playoffs.
Right.
So, and everybody, like, you really miss Lonzo Ball this series. Like, I get it. He probably wouldn't have made that much of a significant difference, but you miss his size, you miss his rebounding, you miss his defense. My head is saying Milwaukee 4-1. My heart say Milwaukee 4-2. Either way, we losing.
Yeah. So in 2019-20, yeah, they were the AC conference.
They were the AC with 33 wins. They were the AC.
That's when they got swept by the Raptors that year. When the Raptors went to the championship. Yeah. So. Anyways, yeah, I got the Bulls losing in 5 games. I think
I think
David says
everybody.
game 3. David says game 3. I say they take game 1, and then I think Milwaukee just gets them in a gentleman sweep the rest of the way.
Now it's a no. It's a different ball game if we somehow, some way, by the grace of God, split one of these games up in Milwaukee.
But I don't even think we can. I don't even care if they playing in Chicago. I mean, I don't think they can even win in Chicago either. I think Milwaukee's just that good. I just think that it's going to be a sweep. They're going to get one game. I think they're going to come out, bust Milwaukee in the mouth, and then from there, Milwaukee's just going to dominate them. That's it.
And we'll see. Moving on to the 4-5 matchup, we got the Philadelphia 76ers taking on the Toronto Raptors. For some reason I didn't capitalize the R in Raptors. 76ers 51-31, 2.6 point differential. Raptors 48 and 34 plus 0.3 point differential. Tyrese Matisse Thybulle.
Tyrese Maxey.
Matisse Thybulle.
Tyrese Maxey.
Matisse Thybulle.
Cannot play in Toronto during the series.
He cannot play in Toronto.
And Canada.
Is that why? Because he's not vaccinated?
Correct.
He didn't get the second shot, no.
Yeah,
he's not fully vaccinated.
So, how do we see this series shaking out?
Philly better win.
Philly for sure better win. But Toronto has sneaky size. Like they can put a lineup out that's like a massive lineup. Like Scotty Barnes, OG Anunoby,
Pascal Siakam.
Yeah, Pascal Siakam, Richard. Like those are big guys.
Hey, and David, that's exactly what they're gonna do. I'm gonna put long, rangy, and lengthy defenders on James Harden. I'm gonna make him dribble 20. I'm gonna make him dribble the air out the ball for 20 seconds, and have him force up some dumbass shot like he always does.
I like when Jalen Rose was like, James Harden's stats look like tour dates. Because his stats on the stretch have been horrible. 4 for 15, 3 for 25. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, James Harden. If the Philly loses, it's gonna be. I don't want to put it on James Harden, but I mean.
Oh no. Again, this is a series. I don't care what big man Toronto throws at Embiid, you ain't stopping him.
Yeah, you ain't stopping Embiid. So it's got to be James Harden that's going to put you over the top.
Embiid going to get his 28 and 12, period.
Right.
Embiid going to, because one, they may be tall enough that they may be tall, but, as far as, girth, Boucher is not stopping Embiid on the block.
Oh, for sure.
Precious Achiuwa is not stopping Joel Embiid on the block. Whoever else calls himself a big man, power forward / center, for the Toronto Raptors is not stopping Joel Embiid on the block, and don't let him get the ball at the top of the key and do that little pump fake he likes to do and drive past.
So one thing, this is one thing I want, and I know the NBA probably ain't watching. Hopefully one day they do watch our damn podcast and look. One thing that I hate is that I hope the NBA don't officiate this one, differently because of Embiid and put him in foul trouble like they did Karl Anthony Towns in that playing game. Like a little bump here on Chris Boucher, foul. A little bump here. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just like I just think that Embiid
smart.
He gonna have to recognize that he can't do that stuff because the NBA, I think the referees will do that in the playoffs to him. You know what I mean? So, but I think it should go the other way around. I think Embiid should be putting their bigs in foul trouble. So that's the only thing. I just hope that they don't officiate it differently.
But okay, then Izzy, listen to what you just said. It should be the other way around. Then guess what? Other people are going to be complaining that every little bump and foul on Embiid isn't a foul. Then
right.
There's no win in this situation. If you're an NBA ref, do you let him play, or do you do you nip that in the bud?
I just thought that game the other day was just a little concerning to me. That's all it was. That's all it was.
I mean, Karl Anthony Towns didn't exactly play the smartest level of basketball ever. He had 3 offensive fouls on the same play. He could have called it anywhere in the yeah. But I he's just one of the I hate complaining about officiating, but I think this series is kind of similar to when we talked about Utah on the other side. The pressure is going to be on the Sixers team to be productive in the playoffs this year. If they're not, I mean, James Harden never signed his opt-in for next can opt out and become a free agent. They lose him for nothing. Doc Rivers could potentially be out if the head coach.
Okay, here's the thing.
If they don't rise up to the occasion, and then there's going to be this stigma around Joel Embiid. Like, yeah, you put up brilliant numbers in the regular season. What are you doing in the playoffs? You always seem to come up short.
Here's the thing. With the whole James Harden thing, who's the GM in Philly now?
Daryl Morey. He's not the GM. He's like president or something.
He ain't going nowhere.
Okay. Well,
he ain't going nowhere. Like
with all that being said, who do you think is going to win this series?
Philly. Like I said, Philadelphia better win this.
I'll take the Sixers
better win this
game.
Because, like, I don't think this stigma, like the stigma that you said about, I don't think it's going to be around Joel Embiid. It's going to be around James Harden.
I think they're both going to start to have that change.
It should definitely be more focused on Harden than Embiid, because if I'm looking at it from this standpoint, Joel Embiid gonna do his part. Joel Embiid gonna do his part, right? If I'm looking at James Harden, I'm looking at James Harden like, bro, things got tough in Houston. You forced your way out. All right, you bitched, you moaned, you complained till you got traded. You showed up out of shape. You know, Muslims, making jokes about you. You was wearing an Eddie Murphy fat suit, like from Nutty Professor. Like you was wearing one of them to get traded. All right, you get traded to Brooklyn. You show up out of shape this year. You ain't like how things was being ran. You bitch, you moan, you complain. You got traded to Philly. Now, if you come up short on this stop here, on this destination number 3, we gonna have to look at you different, bro. And that conversation gonna have to be had. Period. And Matisse Thybulle, bro, they gave Kyrie so much hell for not getting vaccinated at all. Why ain't, bro? You couldn't just get the second shot just to play and just to go, just to help the team.
And why even get the first one if you're not getting the second? Doesn't make any sense.
So who the hell? So if I'm now I got to worry about, damn, who the hell gonna guard Siakam for multiple games in Toronto?
Tobias Harrison, which is that's not a particularly great matchup. So, I think the Sixers I think they'll have desperation. I think they'll have to beat Toronto. I'm shocked that Toronto's in 5 seed, to be totally honest with you. Even though I think Nick Nurse is a top 5 coach.
He is, and hey, Laker fans, he's not coming.
Yeah,
he's not coming.
Not coming there.
I'm not leaving this comfortable job in Toronto. Yeah, my taxes might be high. I might have to pay extra taxes because, American politics I'm not even gonna go into. But I like this I like my young team with potential.
Yeah, with future. They have a future there in Toronto as opposed to what's going on.
So I'm gonna go Philly. I'm gonna go Philly in 6. I also think this is a series. I don't give a damn.
Nick Nurse has money. He makes good money as the coach of the staff. He doesn't necessarily need to go to LA to make that much more money. Well, I mean, how much money?
And I'm more than willing to bet that the GM there, I forgot that brother's name. That's
Rob Pelinka. Oh, you talking about in Lakers or?
Yeah, Masai Ujiri. He gonna match whatever. He gonna match whatever deal the Lakers can potentially come up with. But I'm going Philly, and I'm gonna go Philly in 6. I think Toronto uses this series also to see, all right, this is where we're at. This is what we need to do to elevate.
Taking the Sixers too, is he?
Yeah, they're gonna have to. Yeah, I'm picking the Sixers, but I won't be surprised if Toronto upset this team. But yeah, give me the Sixers. They better win because adding James, they did a whole lot. Adding James Harden,
and they gave up a lot.
They did give up a lot. Steph Curry, Drummond, 2 first-round.
So I'm gonna go with Philly in 7.
Moving on from there, so let's talk about real quick. Who do you think are the teams listed here? Who's going to come out of the Western Conference? I'm going to take the Phoenix Suns. I think that they're the best team from top to bottom. They've been the best team in the entire regular season. And when I look at the landscape of the Western Conference right now, all of the teams, other teams in the Western Conference, have some sort of glaring hole. Memphis, too young still. Golden State Warriors, Steph Curry, situation. Don't really know what that's going to be. Dallas, now with Luka, Utah Jazz,
Mm-hmm.
kind of a little bit stagnant on offense. Denver, Jokic or bust. Minnesota, they don't defend particularly well, and whoever comes out of the 8, I'm not really particularly worried about because they're going to get bounced by. So I think Phoenix is my pick to come out of the West. Who do you guys got coming out of the West?
It better be them. Like I'm so serious. If Phoenix can't make it out of the West with the rundown that you just gave them, where every team has some sort of issue, like yeah, Memphis is good, but Memphis is hella young. Like they the second youngest. Wait, let me get that right. Like they are like one of the youngest rosters in the NBA. Golden State, they just beat the hell. They beat the like top. Forget stuff. Draymond been battling injuries. Clay been battling injuries, and you're asking Jordan Poole to masquerade as Steph Curry. He's doing great so far, but in the playoff
you should
series,
be sure in the argument most player.
and if you talk to Draymond Green, he is the most improved player. But yeah, in a playoff series, that's going to get dissected. Dallas, no Luka. Utah, no coach. Like internal issues. Denver, just Joker. Minnesota, too young. Clippers, no, not a full roster. Pelicans, you're the Pelicans. Phoenix,
You got Bi and
CJ,
and outside of that, you ain't got nobody else.
And
Big Val.
And Valanciunas is solid, but yeah, Phoenix. This is the year. This 100% has to be the year.
This is the year, but I think I hands down, without a doubt, I think Minnesota upsets Memphis. I think that opens the door for Golden State to make it to the Western Conference Finals, albeit if they're a little banged up. And if they can get healthy down the stretch against the Phoenix Suns, a Chris Paul led team ain't beat a Steph Curry led team since they was puppies. Since the Golden State Warriors was puppies, and I think there was like the first time in the playoffs with Mark Jackson.
Yeah, it was
and Chris Paul beat them.
It was that Donald
in LA. Yeah, and Chris Paul beat them. And I think they beat them in 7 in the second round, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was the first.
Or was
round.
it a 5?
Actually, I don't remember.
Yeah,
but,
so and ever since then, Chris Paul has gotten the short end of the stick anytime it came to Steph Curry. And if Steph Curry is remotely healthy, and we all know he's special in the playoffs, I think I give Golden State a chance to beat the Phoenix Suns because Chris Paul Steph Curry is Chris Paul's kryptonite, and I know Devin Booker this, Devin Booker that, but Klay Thompson is another dude. You know what I'm saying? And then you get Draymond back, who's going to be pushing the pace, who's a defensive ace on that team, a leader on that team. And then they're younger. Jordan Poole off the bench too. And I love Phoenix. They have a great roster. They're great. But I think it's just I think that Chris Paul Steph Curry has his number. He has his number. So I'm going Golden State to make it to the finals.
I'm thinking Phoenix.
All right, all that you said, that was so cute, Izzy. It really was. But Klay hasn't been that defender all season. Draymond hasn't been that type of player all season. All right? So running up and down actually benefits Phoenix more than it does Golden State, depending on, again, you're throwing Jordan Poole out there, never been in this situation. Toscano Anderson, never been in this situation. Gary Payton Jr. has fallen out of the rotation.
We forgetting about Andrew Wiggins too.
I was getting to there. Andrew Wiggins
never been
in this situation. Ain't this his
okay? But if we're talking, okay,
I mean,
okay, but if we're talking about,
he may be one of the weakest all-stars.
But if we're talking about throwing bodies, if we're talking about throwing bodies at a guy like Devin Booker, if that's the guy that we're like X Factor, and he's the guy that we're worried about, I think you could throw Andrew Wiggins. Like you could throw Klay at him, you could throw Andrew Wiggins at him. You could throw some of the Juan Toscano Anderson at him, Gary Payton possibly at him. You could throw 4 or 5 potential guys at that guy.
And Devin Booker is getting into that state where he gonna get his. I ain't finna stop him. He gonna get his.
I agree with you on that. I mean, it's all about really like limiting Chris Paul. But Chris Paul seems to be the end. Go. Let's talk about the Eastern Conference.
And wait, before and DeAndre Ayton. Hey bud, you want your money? Time to earn it.
On the Eastern side of
boy,
this,
yeah.
who do you think will be the kings of the East? Got Miami, Boston, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Toronto, Chicago, Brooklyn, and the Cavs/Hawks. Who, when it's all said and done, who's coming out of the Eastern Conference?
Can I ask y'all a question real quick? Are the Milwaukee Bucks the most disrespected reigning defending champ like ever?
I have to think about that. I gotta think about that for a quick second here, man.
Why do you ask it like that?
Because just like looking at the other team, like looking at like how we did it with Phoenix, you can look at every other team on here and point out where they're short, like where they come up. Miami, offensively, they can get stagnant. They don't really have a person like you can say it's Tyler Hero, but really in a I need a bucket situation. Who do you throw the ball to in Miami? Say, go get me a bucket. Jimmy ain't that guy. Jimmy's not a one. Jimmy's a two.
Jimmy Butler has been his offensive side of the game pretty lackluster.
Boston. All right. Okay. Yeah, you got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, but again, which team are you? Are you the team that we've been seeing that went 23-6 over the second half of the season, or are you the team that was in the 11th seed the first half of the season? Which team are you? Philly. Which James Harden gonna show up? Toronto, too young. Chicago, missing pieces. We don't know what you are. You got to get a better collection of players on this roster. Brooklyn, obviously, Brooklyn is the caveat in this because everything given, everybody vax and whatnot, they're not a 7th seed. They are not a 7th seed.
They're the strongest 7th seed. They have a higher chance of winning the NBA Finals than the Heat with the 1 seed.
I think even right now they have like the second highest betting favorites to not just make it out of the East but to win it all. And the Cavs, Hawks, really.
I had to put it.
Really?
But yeah, I'm taking Milwaukee. I think that their combination of size, shot making, and defense, and Giannis, I think that makes them the most well-rounded team in the Eastern Conference. Like they're seriously built to win it all. Give me Milwaukee to come out of the Eastern Conference. I think they have.
You got them repeating, huh? You got them repeating.
I would not be upset at all if it's a finals rematch. I also wouldn't be upset if Brooklyn somehow made their way out. But if I'm Phoenix, I want Milwaukee. If I'm the Phoenix Suns and I make it to the finals, I want Milwaukee. Why? Because I feel like I let one get away. Right? Monty Williams was too stubborn to change his coaching tactic of guarding Giannis with DeAndre Ayton 1-on-1. And when Giannis's knees no longer bothered him, when he was fully healthy, he ate that kid alive. And it wasn't close. So if I'm Phoenix, I'm looking at this like I want the Milwaukee Bucks to get back to the final. I want this rematch because I feel like I let one get away.
So Izzy, who do you got coming out of the
I like what all y'all was saying here. I like everything you guys are saying here about Milwaukee, man. But I'm gonna go with a team that's gonna come out the East. It's gonna be the Brooklyn Nets, man. Brooklyn Nets are coming out the East. And I'm gonna say this right now. I'm gonna say this, and you wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised that happened. No, I wouldn't be surprised that happened at all.
I would because you know what it is.
Because there was a toe on the line. There was a Kevin Durant toe on the line from eliminating them damn Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, if Kevin Durant wears size 12 instead of size 13, they're in the final.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's without Kyrie. And that's without Kyrie, and that's with a lackluster performance from James Harden.
I mean, he was hurt. James Harden was hurt.
That was KD basically by himself, right? James Harden was out there with one leg.
Yeah, he was basically being a decoy the entire game. Like he really couldn't walk around or move.
He was out there with one leg, and KD basically got them to what was it, 6 games?
7. Yep. That series won 7.
7. They made it 7 games.
They win that game if his foot is an inch shorter. They win games. They get 3 points instead of 2.
But again, that's what I'm talking about, right? Izzy literally just picked the 7 seed Brooklyn Nets. And I know I just said, right, all things given, they're not a 7 seed, but a 7 seed
They
is
ain't.
still a 7 seed. The 7 seed is still a 7 seed, right?
Yeah, this is the most dangerous 7 seed in the history of the league.
Are
The
the
history
Milwaukee
of the league.
Bucks
I ain't never seen it.
are the Milwaukee Bucks the most disrespected reigning defending NBA champs ever? You can tell me, bro, you cannot tell me that no one during the Bulls three-peat thought somebody was going to not only beat the Bulls in the East, but beat them in the championship. It was not happening.
You can make the argument. You can make the argument that the Houston Rockets. You can make the argument.
No,
you
you
can say the
can't.
same thing about
No,
the
you
Houston
can't.
Rockets in the middle when they went back-to-back
No, you
titles.
can't.
What about
Michael
the
retired.
Raptors? What about the
Kinda
Raptors when they won their championship? I mean, I know
Well,
Kawhi Leonard left,
Kawhi
but
left. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No,
But
I think that's more of a
Kawhi
comparison
left.
as the Houston Rockets.
so moving on from East versus West, who do you say, when it's all said and done, who's going to be the team hoisting up that Larry O'Brien trophy? I have the Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks going head-to-head in a rematch of last year, and I think the result will be the same. I think the Milwaukee Bucks are a better team, top to bottom, and I think their defense is going to give Phoenix.
Repeat. Oh.
I got
Well,
Milwaukee repeat.
I think if Brooklyn makes it to the finals, they're gonna want the Phoenix Suns to go because if the California restrictions are up, Kyrie can't play in California, so that's gonna be a handicap for them. So, but I honestly
No, I think he
honestly
can't. I think
have,
San Francisco lacks. I think they lax their mask mandate. I would have to look that up. I'm more than sure that they did.
If that's the truth, if that's true, I got the Brooklyn Nets winning the NBA championship this year.
It's no
And it's all
required.
because Kyrie Irving.
As of April 1st, it's no longer required. So.
Oh, look at that!
Look at Kyrie can play.
Look at God. Look at God. So if that happens, Kyrie Irving. No, well, I'm just saying. No, I'm saying. But anyway, it's a saying. It's a saying. It's a saying, brother.
David, it's just a phrase.
Yeah. Hey, so no, if that's the case, then I got the Brooklyn Nets winning the NBA championship this year. I think the combination of Kyrie and Kevin Durant is probably one of the most lethal combinations in NBA history. Period. I can't even name another lethal other Shaq and Kobe.
Hey, real talk.
Scotty and Mike. I mean, come on.
Right.
Scotty and Mike, but
Magic and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
That's the outlier. Like that's the outlier, and let's not act like. I mean, like, yeah, Magic got Kareem. You know, he had him, but let's not act like Kareem was still
Kareem and Oscar.
Like that. Now that's a duo that don't get.
That was a hell of a duo. But I'm talking about what Kyrie can bring to the table. Yeah, but they only won one. But what Kyrie could bring to the table offensively, we already know.
Left.
Yeah, he left because Milwaukee had something to do with his religion. Yeah, like I said, Brooklyn is winning the NBA championship because Kyrie and Kevin Durant are so lethal and deadly. They're the best duo in the NBA this year. Because if Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are playing together, I think they might give those two guys a run for their money.
That's exactly why Phoenix needs to hurry up and win this.
Yeah.
Because once Kawhi come back healthy, it's a wrap.
It's not just them though, bro. It's not. All right, so Golden State's gonna get healthy. Say one, like Golden State's gonna get healthy, right? Denver's gonna get healthy.
Yep. Jamal Murray gonna come back. Michael Porter Jr. gonna come back. The West is gonna be so much better next year. So Phoenix does have to win. You right.
I mean, we talked about this. I mean, Luka is going to.
Memphis ain't going nowhere no time.
Memphis is going. They're only going to get better from here. Like, this is the season. Like, if you don't win the title as a Phoenix Suns this year, you may never win. This is your best shot.
Yeah, again, and I'm saying this to Chris Paul right now. This is your best shot. I know you're probably not watching. I hope you do one day. This is your best shot to get one, buddy. I hope this is your best shot to get one, buddy. Okay.
And I'm taking the Milwaukee Bucks beat Phoenix. Izzy's
got the Brooklyn Nets beating Golden State.
TJ, are you having Phoenix? Are you Chris Paul? Chris Paul getting the Larry O'Brien trophy?
I think Chris Paul gets that ever elusive monkey off his back, that heavy ass monkey off his back. He finally grabs that elusive brass ring that Triple H likes to call it. He breaks through the proverbial glass ceiling because if Chris Paul gets that chip, you have to put him like he's top 3 point guards ever.
Oh
Top
yeah,
3
point guards of all
ever.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, of all time. Of all time.
Because
But no, now check this one
Magic,
out.
Isaiah probably 1, 2, and then
Chris Paul,
Steph Curry.
hold on. Chris
more
Paul,
than
you
3,
can make the
4.
argument. You can make the argument. Chris Paul win one. He win one. He may just be like, "Hey, that's all. I accomplished everything in basketball. I'm done."
I mean, he's got 3 years left on his contract. I would be shocked if he did that. But you know.
I know, but I wouldn't be, if he did that, I wouldn't be surprised though.
Because
I would be pretty surprised.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you, Chris Paul, the coach, gonna be a beast.
I agree.
Oh yes,
Chris Paul.
He's gonna be a hell of a coach one day.
Chris Paul, the coach, gonna be a monster.
And TJ, Mr. Matt James would be very happy that you picked the Suns to win it all.
I'm sorry, Matt James, but your Phoenix Suns ain't making it to the NBA Finals.
Matchups make fights. You know, matchups make fights. So either way it goes, I think even if it's Milwaukee or if it's Brooklyn, they both got a 7-foot monster to deal with that they're not gonna stop. So if I'm Phoenix, if it is Phoenix and it is Brooklyn, I'm not finna put DeAndre Ayton on KD. Good luck. Good luck. The only thing missing from Giannis' game is a consistent mid-range or 3-point shot. KD has that. So what is DeAndre Ayton gonna do with KD on the perimeter? Who's gonna guard Kevin Durant if the Brooklyn Nets meet up with the Phoenix Suns? Jay Crowder? Give me Kevin Durant. Bridges? No. Bridges
you going
has
Brooklyn?
to guard. No, I'm just saying no matter what Phoenix does, like whoever they face in the finals, they have an issue that they have to face.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Giannis or KD. You're right.
Giannis or KD.
So yeah, we'll see how things play out. That's been our 2022 playoff preview. We will be jumping into the crossover periodically throughout the playoffs, giving you our insights on stuff that's been going on as the season continues to progress, the playoffs continue to progress. I've been David On Point, Mr. Hopkins, CEO of Prime Sports with Israel Rivera. Thank you very much for joining us, gentlemen. What do we do here at the Prime, my friends?
We bring the heat, ladies and gentlemen.
We watch Boys in the Hood. Hey, Izzy, they ain't have to kill my boy Ricky like that, man. They ain't have to kill Ricky like that.
No, they didn't have to do him like that, bro.
Run, Ricky, run! Ricky! I had a student, so I have a student who did a voiceover for that segment of the movie where Ricky gets shot. It is so damn funny. Like, he basically dubs over all the voices. All of the.
Oh
my gosh.
Do you have it?
I do have it. I might
send it to us. I want to see it.
We will drop that in the chat box.
No, we won't.
Send that to me. I want to see. Yes, no, seriously, send it to
us. I'll send it to you. It's pretty damn entertaining. But yeah, that's been Prime Sports World, the crossover. We'll see you guys all later. Y'all have a good rest of your day.
And
peace out.
Have a happy Easter, everybody.
Yeah, happy Easter, everybody. Take care. Peace out, guys.